should I continue going for? A couple more songs, or how are folks feeling? Bored yet?
Keep going.
Am I stimulating your inner radical economist?
Yes.
Someone sounds stimulated. That'll be my new life. Rousing your inner economist. You know how like musicians, when they're trying to be like real cool and famous and stuff, they'll have like other famous people make quotes about them, you know, on the back of their, or on their website or something, would be like, so and so is awesome. Brad Pitt. You know. I'm gonna start getting like random quotes from people that say really absurd things. My friend Mark put some stuff on his website, kind of mocking that, and he put something that was like, Mark will gladly play music at your family's wedding and embarrass your family. And it was like from his best friend. Because he put and he put another one that was from like a dead Irish hunger striker. You know, it's like, Mark's music is really awesome. It really helps me, you know, carry through the struggle. And it was from Bobby Sands. He'll say, Ryan Harvey roused my inner economist. Milton Friedman.
Oh my God.
So on that note, this song's called The Global Economy. This is about what happens behind your purchase. There's a really good movie called Life and Debt. Have folks seen that movie? Good. The movie changed what I knew about bananas. How a freaking cheap banana, the story a cheap banana has behind it is pretty. They're talking in there about Jamaican milk farmers going out of business because powdered milk from the U.S. is being imported much cheaper than their milk, and no one's buying it anymore. One cup of coffee, $1.50. Guy who picked the coffee didn't get three. Trying to survive in an industry that doesn't care about people. Working on the hills on stolen land, picking at the earth with a scuffed bare hand, sweating for the profits of some rich man that doesn't care about people. You buy a piece of fruit at the grocery store, shipped from Guatemala, Chile, or El Salvador, grown by orphan children in the Civil War that was funded by food corporations. A global trade system riding on the backs of families packed in wallless shacks, living in the fear of that squad attacks that are funded by food corporations. One pack of t-shirts, $4.50. Girls with the t-shirts didn't get free. She's stuck in the belly of an industry that doesn't care about people. Bangladesh factory, 16-hour shifts, no overtime breaks or benefits, and they'll fire her if she gets pregnant, because they don't care about people. So this is where it gets economic, and where the U.S. involved. New York banks watched the Thai baht grow, and they took high amounts in Thai baht loans, converted them to dollars when they got back home, and it put millions into poverty. They paid off their debts with U.S. cash, pocketed the profits in U.S. banks, and the Southeast Asian markets crashed, and it put millions into poverty. One diamond ring, a few grand, kid who mined the diamonds lost his hand. There's a message from the soldiers that run the land that are funded by diamond corporations. Wealth derived through poverty from the lingering cuts of slavery in the form of an export economy controlled by diamond corporations. Imperialism in its modern form, deadlock, free market, economic reform, blowing through the global south like a tropical storm, tearing at the seams of culture, from the cluster bomb to the rifle butt, from the gold mine to the clear cut. Capitalism's got the world locked up and it's tearing at the seams of culture.
Woo!
I dropped the C-bomb, capitalism, right? There's another C-bomb, communism, right? State communism specifically. Martin Luther King, right? He's got that in his speech, Where Do We Go From Here? Has anyone read that or heard it? Right? Shortly before he's killed, he's talking about the need to focus on economic reform in the United States as the basis for equality, right? And he gets pretty radical in it. And at the end, he's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about communism. He's like, communism forgets that life is individual, and capitalism forgets that life is collective. He's like, what we need is a higher synthesis of the two. He's like, somewhere in there is the answer. And I kind of agree with that. I think that's cool. But in that song, if it fit, I would name other systems that economically oppress people. And China, obviously, has the worst parts of communism and the worst parts of capitalism, in this future. And they're a huge global predator. I mean, you talk about Darfur, you're talking about China, right? You're talking about China's economic policy in the world, and all over Southeast Asia. And Japan did it too, and a lot of people did it. A lot of countries, very oppressive of their neighbors in other regions. So it's very important to put a note in there that it's not just, or you could call all of that capitalism if you wanted to, but it's not just capitalist countries like the United States. The Soviet Union did freaking tons of economic incursions and empirical sort of, anyway. But not Finland. The Finnish Empire didn't make it very far. I really don't know anything about it. Maybe they did, who knows. What should we sing about? How would I do a couple of cool, hopeful songs and then we'll call it a day? Alter globalization, hope. We'll start back in history a little bit with that song about the Choctaw that I told you about. This song is by Jim Page. It's not by me. All the other songs that I've sung have been written by me. I might sing 2 Jim Page songs. Extra happy, because he's a much better songwriter than myself. He's like one of those radical folk singers from the 60s who never went crazy. He never sold out. He didn't go through one of those, well, maybe a little bit, but he didn't go through one of those weird pop phases like Bob Dylan, Buffy St. Marie, and Joe Baez all did, where they all had leather jackets and sunglasses and stuff in the 80s. Started making weird, really based out 80s music. He kept it folk, right? And he kept it grassroots, and he kept it active. So the dude is this dude full of wisdom and amazing songwriting.